Oddly enough, nobody died in my trip this weekend.
Good.
And there was like water and fire and like a whole bunch of other shit. We consumed every drop of alcohol that we brought, and we brought so much alcohol. And then we couldn't find the keys when we were leaving, and I was like, I'm sure that I put them right here. And everyone was like tearing the house apart. And then like an hour into it, my buddy Maggie was like kind of like shifty-eyed, and then like walked out of the house and down like to where the dock was, because there's like a lockbox down there, and comes strutting back with the keys. And I was like, God damn it. So we didn't leave on time, obviously.
Next time, tell us the details.
And then there were two of us chosen folk out of 5 people, and the oven tried to eat Maggie, and she's not a chosen person. And she fucking ate shit in the kitchen, and the oven door was open because we were about to grab the lamb out of it, and she just smacked off of it.
I'm so upset that I just understood what you just said.
That's why I'm not replying. I'm not responding anyway.
Like, I would not have caught that if I didn't know y'all two.
Whoa! Don't lump me in this.
Yeah.
Why? I haven't said anything. I'm sitting here enjoying the story.
Did you just say? Wait, did you just say oven didn't say anything? Did you literally just say oven didn't say anything?
No, that's you that just said that.
It sounded like it did. Number one. Number two, what's Ryan's business plan if he makes hot dogs?
Since you're so used to numbers right now, how about you just count us down so we start?
Oh, okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the show.
He's just head shaking.
Welcome back to ASOS. What episode is this? 20?
21. The Sean Taylor
21.
episode. That's what the name of this was going to be, the Sean Taylor episode.
No.
It's 21.
I know, but we're not talking about him.
Well,
no other 21 matters.
If somebody had died on my birthday,
Prime time.
It's been a lot more timely.
Prime time matters.
Yeah, no.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, the only thing Primetime does is talk about how Dan Snyder paid for the west wing of his house when he came here on that goddamn contract. So fuck Primetime.
Facts.
There'll forever be a little hate in my heart for Primetime.
I mean, he did play for the Cowboys, so
yeah, he did.
I understand.
I prefer to remember him as a Falcon or a 49er, not as a Washington football team member or a Cowboy.
And he's one of the GOATs, man.
Darryl Green's better.
No.
Darryl Green played. He was still running like a 4.2 at like 40.
So
although
he was also 5'2".
Darryl Green is great. Like, not arguing that at all. He's just not better than Primetime.
Yeah, I disagree.
It depends who you're asking.
Yeah, anybody but Washington football team fans.
There you go.
Yep.
Or Eagles fans or Giants
and
fans.
You're a Bills fan, so Ryan.
Well, for
be objective.
29.5.
Your history doesn't matter. Objectivity is what we're asking for.
Yeah.
You're a Bills fan on paper.
Be objective.
Darryl Green over Deion Sanders, correct, sir? Thank you very much. Now, we can continue
You're
with
still
the show.
drunk. You're still drunk.
Oh, you sound like a Trump supporter. People can't have a different opinion. Is it all fake news? You get the objective opinion you want, and it's not the answer you want, so you got to throw it out. All right.
I stopped
you.
drinking yesterday.
What is that? What is that? Okay. All right. So, since we didn't pod this weekend, happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
I'm glad you're still here with us.
Same. Hey, I feel better than ever.
Good. Something came out today. There are a couple players in the NFL that aren't feeling so good. Titans and Vikings. Did you hear about it?
I didn't.
Yes.
I think it was 9 people in the Titans organization that test positive for COVID after their game. Mm-hmm. This just came out. You really didn't hear about this?
In the locker room after the game? Or
no. So you did not hear about this?
No.
All right. So they got tested, I believe, today.
Okay.
And the test came back that 8.
There's no test on game day.
Right. There's no test on game day.
Okay.
And then they flew back, and then 9 people from the Titans org tested positive. One was a linebackers coach who tested positive before they left. Right?
Shane Bowen.
And they did not test the players.
Wait, so they let this linebackers coach fly with the team?
No, he stayed back.
Okay.
But they didn't test the players
You've been in contact with them.
Right.
What? Yeah. Why?
Yeah. So apparently there's 2 different tests, like the PCR and then the PLC, I think. Yeah. And then the PCR, that test is more accurate, but it takes longer. Mm-hmm. And then you got the PLC, which is quicker, but it's not as effective. And then the NFL doesn't want to do a PLC test because there's a chance that it could be inaccurate, and they don't want to have players not play.
Like the false positives we saw before the season started.
Right. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were there fans at that game?
It was in Minnesota, so I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Okay.
The crazy thing is, in Tennessee, the whole restrictions ends tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of them do. I know that it ends on the 1st, right?
Yeah, it ends after tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 30th.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I can never remember how many days are in a month.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty much nuts. Did you read the memo that came out, Kadeem?
I saw the message from the NFL.
Yeah, from Goodell. Yep.
From Goodell. I skimmed it. I haven't really read it. Do you know what did it say, or sum it up?
He essentially said that this was expected.
Right.
It was.
They notified all the players, and they're also saying that anybody that tested positive also has for their family, they can get free testing as well. They sent this memo to all 32 teams telling them to review their guidelines and make sure everything is
Here's my big issue. And I obviously watched a considerable amount of baseball this year. Mm-hmm. Like most of the games. It's disgusting. But when they had even a coach, not even a player, if a coach tested positive, they postponed the game, quarantined everybody, tested every player, and then nobody could come back until they had a number of I think it was 2 or 3 negative tests in a row. So it's usually if your game was Wednesday, they would test you on Tuesday. If someone was positive, everybody would quarantine and they would test. So you usually miss the next 3 games in a row at least. And the fact that the NFL was oh, this coach tested positive, that's fine. We're going to quarantine him. Hey, you 90 players and coaches and medical staff, y'all are cool. Get on this plane together.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that wrote their COVID guidelines is yep, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. We're good.
But also let's look at how this affects. So now the Vikings cannot practice, even though they have nobody that has tested positive yet.
Yeah,
right?
They're still in that window.
Right. So they can't go to their facility. So now their preparation for the next game is shot. Same thing with the Titans. They can't go back to the facility until Saturday. they have a game against the Steelers on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's
in
cool.
Tennessee.
No, you got to go out and play, right?
Now, what I heard is it's possible that they move the Steelers Titans game to Monday,
or the bye week, because they share a bye week.
Right. Or it's not at the same time though.
No, there's an easy way that they could do the bye week thing when it comes to them.
Yeah,
Minnesota's a bit more difficult.
Like the Steelers would play the Ravens, and then
they
Ravens
move the bye week back a week or something. Yeah.
So
I mean,
not the case with the Vikings.
Right. Right now they just can't do shit, even though nobody's tested positive.
I don't know why they haven't had a possibility for a flex game on a Thursday night, because we knew this was going to happen at some point.
The players hate Thursday night games.
It doesn't matter. They're available. They have the television rights on Thursday. The fact that they didn't foresee this happening, because you can flex a game into Thursday night that was supposed to be played on Sunday. They dropped the ball hard on this.
How would you do that when Thursday is the first game of the week, though?
Yeah, the flexing of the Thursday game usually has to have a lot of leeway because of the fact that if you play on Thursday, you're not playing on Sunday.
Right.
But
it's a weird season. The MLB players have never played every single day.
No, but listen to what I'm saying. So
but you can't play a Thursday. You can't play a Thursday and then a Sunday.
Right.
No, I guess you'd have to push it back week.
Yeah.
And then you'd lose your bye week. It's early enough.
You can't lose a bye. Nobody's gonna be comfortable with a team losing a bye week.
And then let's say it happens twice.
If it
happens twice, then what do you do?
I'm not the NFL. I'm saying, why didn't they have a plan in place? I'm literally spitballing right now.
Yeah. So a funny thing is, I had an argument with a friend of mine, when I got off work, and we were talking about this situation happening, and he said that there's no way ever that the league would not finish. And in my head, there's definitely a way the league doesn't finish.
Yeah, they just can't play their games.
Yeah.
All right, I've been kind of quiet about this whole thing. I've probably been the loudest of us as far as comfortability or non-comfortability as far as COVID goes when it comes to football or any other sport. This is not my chickens come home to roost bit or anything like that right now. It's honestly, they've been doing a pretty good job up until now. If there is a situation where you had the Tennessee Titans knew that this guy had tested positive and they didn't do what they needed to do as far as testing the players properly before they took the flight and before they potentially put everybody at risk, that I'd like to see strict ramifications really levied upon the franchise itself if they didn't do or follow proper protocol. Yeah. Right now, if you're looking at the NFL overall, they've been doing, like I said, we're still very early on in the NFL season. But I would give credit where credit's due, is that it's not having the same sort of impact that I thought at least it would. The prevalence isn't as major as it has been that I thought it could possibly be. And I when you're having the argument with your friend about whether or not the NFL season will end, unless something truly spectacular happens. Now, in my opinion, everything that's already happening just in society when it comes to COVID is already extremely spectacular, and we should be still shut down. But there is sort of and I hate this phrase as far as the new normal, but it's been known that America is basically able to digest this. It's we're living, we're going on, we're doing things, we're traveling more than we have. I mean, if you would have told me James, you were down in Maryland last week. I've been going to DC. I went to South Carolina. Ryan, you went down to the lake.
I went to Maryland and I stayed in one spot.
You stayed in one spot, but you were meeting up with people. You were meeting up with people, being family, right?
Yeah, and I stayed there.
I got it. All I'm saying, I'm not blaming you. I'm saying that if it was 6 months ago, wasn't in the cards, right? So what I'm saying is that everybody has a certain level at which they're doing, but everybody's sort of letting off just a little bit. So we're able to say that we're digesting what's happening. Now, I don't think the NFL will do anything they will do whatever they need to do as far as flexing the game or what have you. I think we're a lot closer to saying a team loses a bye week and just deal with it compared to them ever canceling a season. I think we're looking at them possibly playing 2 games in a week before they ever cancel a season. They've gone too far. They can't just relent right now unless we're talking about a major outbreak in the sense of a team literally can't play because there's so many people infected that they physically can't do it. I don't see a scenario in which every Sunday there's not going to be football.
Yeah, I mean, they still have guys on the practice squad.
Right.
You can fill a squad in a week.
And the way that they changed the rules, I think there's more guys on the practice squad this year than there has been.
I think there's 80 people on a roster now.
And it's 3 week is a 3 week
even still now. Like
it's not about what's morally right. I think we're all on the same page of that.
I'm not talking about morals.
It's not about what's safe. It's about what it is. You're just gonna do it.
His point, yeah. Now, I need to read up on more of what are the legal ramifications in regards to this.
Like,
I understand that they amended. I understand they amended the CBA and added shit, but let's say 5 or 6 players died this year from COVID. What happens?
I think at this particular point in time, Ryan, you speak as a lawyer more than I. This would be my prevailing theory, legal theory on this, would be everyone at this point knows the risk, especially if you're an NFL athlete with how much high profile all of this has been. You've had talks when it comes to the organization. You had the ability to opt out, as some players did before the season started. If you've decided that you're going to do it and you're going to play at this particular point in time, it's kind of on you.
I don't know if any of us really know the full risk.
Here's
like that could be an argument.
I get it, but you have, even when it comes to you have, like, Congress has been trying to pass legal liability protection when it comes to another stimulus bill to protect certain employers and businesses or what have you, as far as what happens with COVID. But I think what we're looking at when it comes to the NFL, just because of the safeguards that we know the NFL has already put in place, we know that they're doing the testing on a particular type of level. There is still an inherent risk, but it's the same sort of risk you would have if you were to do something a little dangerous. If you were to get into a race car, you sign a waiver. Like it's one of those things where you can't say.
They sign waivers?
But if you understand what's happening and you've opted in to play throughout the entire landscape of everything, I don't think you can't sit in front of a judge and say, "Oh, I just didn't know." Not at this point, and not if you're an NFL athlete.
No, I'm not saying that they don't know that, like, there's risk or whatever. But in terms of, we don't know exactly what it is. We know there's some risk, but we don't know everything. Like, it could be like, oh yeah, you could lose a foot, or you could die.
They would only be liable up to the point where they knew that they were putting them in a specific danger.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then. Now, let's say some of the players on the Titans team didn't know that the linebackers coach tested positive, and that they didn't do anything in regards to testing to make sure that nobody else was infected. Well, how did the Titans coach get infected and then still be around the team?
I mean, it would have to be that the Titans coach, they knew he tested positive, and then they hid it from the rest of the players.
Well,
or they didn't follow their own protocol. So if they had a protocol in place that said, if X happens, then Y and Z must happen, and they didn't do Y, then they could be held liable if something got out.
And I even think beyond that, you're looking at something that's got to be grossly negligent. I don't think it could be something that's like a mistake. It's got to be that you knowingly went out of your way to not follow protocol. You knowingly went out of your way to put yourself at risk, and then you put everybody else at risk.
Yeah.
Why I would look at that. There's going to be an investigation about all of this stuff as far as like how it happened.
I got a question for Ryan then.
I'm sure it's already well underway.
I have a question, Ryan.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm a player and I died from it, and then like my family comes to you, do you think you could have it? Like, do you think you can create an argument for this or no?
I mean,
like in your mind, do you think you could create an argument that you could win?
100%. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, I think given the circumstances, there's always. I mean, just from a non-legal, just human standpoint, looking at what they did, looks like either they didn't have the proper protections in place, or they just weren't followed correctly. So, like in this particular instance, like obviously, like we're not scientists and we're not big multi-billion-dollar NFL corporations, and we know that if your friend tests positive and they've been around you, what you're supposed to do. We all know that. We've been seeing it on fucking CNN, Fox News, like for months. Like you go and you quarantine yourself and get tested and you wait. And it's not like that's not known. Like, I'm not sure that that's the right amount of time. I know some European countries are doing 10 days. I don't know what the right amount of days are, but there's a couple days at least that you're supposed to go in quarantine.
The NFL is using 10 days as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was 5.
It depends on it.
Well, for the facility, like
it depends on if you're showing symptoms or you're not showing symptoms. It depends on if you're symptomatic or asymptomatic.
Oh, I'm talking about like facilities. I see what you're talking about though.
Yeah, but it's 5. It's the baseline right now is after 5 days of exposure, you should test positive if you have it. So 5 days is probably fine. But if you are symptomatic, it's 14, and they did 0 days. So to me, that seems like somebody fucked up. So yeah, I think there is a really good argument. I hope nobody dies.
I mean, me neither. And then if you think about like, it's about to be October, which is like we're getting into flu season.
Yeah, I got my flu shot already.
Yeah, I think a lot of shit is gonna get worse. I hope not, but
I don't think this is a separate topic as much as it's just all wrapped in. But another thing that broke last week was the fact that the NFL started levying fines for coaches that weren't wearing masks properly on the sideline. And I think that what you're seeing right now is that there were a lot of people online saying, like, look, I don't understand why the coaches got to wear a mask if the players aren't wearing masks. And they don't get it. But from an NFL perspective, what they're doing, just from a legal standpoint, is making sure that everyone knows we have protocols in place. We don't give a shit if you agree with it, but we want to make sure that we're doing the safest possible thing. The NFL itself, it's the optics, and it's just the proof is in the pudding that if it comes to the NFL itself, they are doing everything in their power to make sure that they're putting safeguards in place. If there are any gaps in it, what the NFL is trying to clearly distinguish, it ain't on us. It might be on a particular player being negligent. It might be on a particular organization being negligent. But sure enough, it's because they're not following or paying attention to what it is that we're doing. So they're insulating themselves.
Well,
so we got fined. We got fined $250K. John Gruden got fined $100K, and we are currently being investigated for an unauthorized person, in I think they said our locker room or on the field or something. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what the result is. They might still be looking at it, but
I think the major point is, at least optically, is if your head coach isn't following the rules, that's a full trickle down effect. Like, coach ain't wearing it, I don't have to wear it, or coach, linebacker.
I mean, if you're a player, you're not wearing it,
right? But like in practice, and probably if you do have to go and do something or to hang out with your family, coach ain't doing it, so I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get benched for not doing it. So what are my motivations for doing it?
Like if Jack Del Rio ran the Washington football team, there would be no mask, right? Like it's just one of those situations where
there would be coughing parties.
Yeah, probably.
No, we had a situation in Vegas where Darren Waller, right?
Yeah.
He had a fundraiser for helping people with addiction in Las Vegas. Like he held a fundraiser, and
seems wasted on Vegas, but go on.
No, that's where you need to be. And then if you got he had like Derek Carr, like a bunch of receivers, all of our tight ends, some safety, like defensive players, and then under the tweet where they were discussing the Titans and Vikings outbreak, somebody put, and it was like, yeah, Darren Waller just had this event, and like if you look at the picture, no one in that place had a mask on. And I was like, oh, God, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it was
a great cause, but at the same time, you didn't have to be there. Like, you could have done it virtually.
Or you do it and you wear your fucking mask. Dude, I have been going to court every day for, 3 months now? I've been wearing my mask, sanitizing. I have been negative every single week. And I attributed that mostly to just doing the basic right steps. And if you're not going to do the basic right steps, then maybe you don't deserve to play for a week. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but it's not, the proof is also here in the pudding, where I've been probably out and about more than most other people and around lots of people, and I'm still testing negative. And
I'd be willing to bet
do the right thing, you're more than likely to get the right result.
This week, watch for language from the NFL speaking about penalties of not following or doing what it is you're supposed to do. You're going to start seeing, regardless of whatever comes out of the Tennessee investigation, you're going to start seeing I think it was a volley as far as the coaches getting fined as far as the mask thing. That's a warning. That's a shot across the bow. Hey, motherfuckers, y'all better pay attention to what it is we're saying.
That wasn't a warning. That was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Like, I think that got lost on people. Like, we're talking about NFL fines. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, like coaches got fined $100K themselves, and the team got fined $250,000.
That seems like they knew what the penalties were going to be.
Yeah, like even John said it. He was like yeah, like I tried to wear my mask, but like I'm trying to call plays and you can't really hear shit, so I had to take the mask down.
It's bullshit. You got a mic. It's horse shit. It's whatever. It's not people being hard-headed.
But no, it's also in regards to like people being able to hear in the headset.
Quarterbacks can usually hear their coaches.
Yeah, but like they should have done the same shit. They should have done what Andy Reid did, where he just had the face shield.
The face shield does so much though.
I know, but they allow him to wear the face shield.
They do, and they redesigned one for him.
If John Gruden is saying,
it's awesome. It's like through his hat.
Yeah.
If John Gruden is saying that he does that because like people can't hear him and he still needs to wear the mask, just wear the fucking face shield.
He has other options.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the whole mask thing, like, it's not about reading lips, because how many fucking coaches do you see that has a goddamn playbook over their face when they're doing anything? I mean, like, right now what it is motherfuckers complaining about the mask, and I hear them all the time. Yo, it's hard to go to the grocery store with the mask on. My glasses fog up. Man, fuck you. Wear your goddamn mask. Stop bitching. It's like, it's your, and then if you're in the NFL, if you want it to play and you want to make sure that people are going to stay as safe as possible, shut the fuck up and wear your mask. I don't care if it's uncomfortable. I don't care if it makes something a little bit harder. Do you know what's a lot harder? If you got 5 or 6 of your players that get infected with fucking COVID and then you're trying to figure out how you're going to game plan for next week. Like, people are being so short-sighted and stupid. People talk about an entitlement fucking area. It's people that are just so hamstrung on not wanting to do something for somebody else. And it's because the mask doesn't protect you. It protects other people. That's the only reason people can't wrap their fucking heads around it.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Let me tell you this then. If you got somebody who's like a fan, like how we discussed that fan is short for fanatic of one team, they find out where like they know they have it. And they go around, like they try to get somewhere near, or they know where players are going to be at whatever point. And then they go and try to affect the other team or another team in their division or something.
That's biological terrorism and damn near a murder charge if you want to fucking go that route. Like, if you're knowingly going around.
You know how stupid people are?
But I'm just saying is that but that's the same, to me it's the same concept as somebody saying, hey, I'm a huge fan of this other team, I might stab the fucking quarterback at a bar.
Think about the flu game where
that story's still in question.
And we're talking about one moment in the history of sports.
No, we're not.
Okay?
We're talking about
that's what I'm saying. Give me another example.
No,
I just don't think it holds in the water.
Listen to what I'm saying. It is something that everybody knows because it's MJ and he had a great game. There are so many other games where players are sick or whatever. Like you can see them, like they don't say shit about it because they just had a bad game.
Sick.
I know,
but this is the sickness that you can only get from other people.
Yeah.
What? The hell are you talking about?
If they're adequately quarantined, there's no way that you can get sick.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, is like at the end of the day.
But you can't be adequate quarantined because there's no bubble.
No shit, but I'm saying the idea.
That's what I'm saying.
But the idea or the concept, I just want I just want to make sure that what you're saying gets completely disregarded, and I'm combating exactly what you're saying, is the idea that you were going to have fanatics of football or baseball or basketball teams going out there trying to knowingly affect other players, I think is not something that anybody needs to be worried about. It's not something that's in the realm of possibility at all.
They found out
hold on. So it's not possible that somebody would do that?
Sorry, no, not outside the realm of possibility. It's damn near from a probable standpoint.
Stupid.
It's
impossible.
It's not impossible.
Dude, they found out that you guys had one unauthorized person in your locker room. You think they're going to let a fan wander in?
Did you not just hear that we already had somebody unauthorized there?
They found out.
It was probably someone who was.
You can find out.
There.
I'm not saying that the person is smart enough to
James, I think what we're trying to figure out is that the idea what you're talking about is
crazy.
A charge. No, it's a charge. But what I'm saying is that if I see Dak Prescott in the line at Lido's and I say, you know what, we play the Cowboys next week, I don't go to the car and grab a bat to bash his knees in. Like, no other fan does that because we're not trying to go to jail for a fucking team. The only organization who has fans that could possibly do this, and I think you know where I'm going here with this, is your fucking Raiders. So if you're looking at it from a Raider perspective, because you guys shank each other in parking lots over a goddamn football team, okay, I get it. Maybe I don't understand just how it works as far as your guys' fandom.
Wait, but that's fan-on-fan violence.
Yeah, usually they're stabbing their own kind, too. It doesn't make any sense.
I hate Derek Carr. Fuck you, other fan.
But I've seen opposing players in the world. You don't go and say, oh, we play them next week. Shank. Like, it doesn't work that way. You don't walk around knowingly know that you have COVID-19 or the flu or anything else. It's not prevalent. There's only one case in which we even talk about in the sense of the Michael Jordan flu game. Other than that, when somebody has the flu or has a stomach bug, there's never a conspiracy theory that a fan tried to do it.
How would you give somebody the flu through a pizza? It still confuses me.
It doesn't make any sense. Same. It was stupid.
I mean, if they coughed on it.
You probably just got shitty pizza, food poisoning. It happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you cough on something and someone eats it, is it not like the flu doesn't get transferred or no?
It can be.
I don't think it would survive long enough.
That's the thing. It wouldn't survive long enough to do. That's what I'm saying. The probability is low.
Look, okay. That right there is what I'm saying. But it's still possible.
Yes, I could be eaten by a shark in my basement.
No.
Yeah, it's possible. It is possible. Especially, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I've heard Sharknadoes are a thing. I mean, I could plan my life around them.
Dude, they made 8 documentaries about it.
That's what they were. I know I heard something about that.
That was so annoying. Because, like, you just say this shit just to piss me off. Partly. It's just partly you believe it, and then, like, you may believe what you're saying, but then you just shit on what I'm saying.
I got 100% say that I agree. I disagree with you, and I agree with what I'm saying. It's unlike the Derek Carr stuff where I was just trying to troll you last week.
Yeah, no, it's just so it's almost impossible. It's also a terrorist act to even do that.
Yes,
and I'm not sure anybody wants.
So it's like mowing over protesters in cars and shit.
Right.
Yeah, but done.
But those people are out like on the streets. We're talking about a lockdown facility with security everywhere, ensuring that these players are safe. Not me standing on a stage.
What I'm saying is there are so many different that you cannot control the virus.
No, but you control the environment, and that's what they're doing.
As best as they can.
As best as they can.
No,
which means a fan is not accidentally getting into the facility.
Right. I think that
no. I'm not saying that the fan is going to walk up to the facility.
He's saying the fan's going to stalk one of the other players, find an area in which they can cough on them.
Not necessarily cough on them, but they could be like.
They're not outside. Like for the most part.
Unless you're Darren Waller trying to do shit during COVID. Once again, Raider related.
Like they had
your players are doing shit too, so fuck you.
They had that kid
driving. Yeah. They only Washington football team players are posting your pictures of them driving. That's literally it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most teams you can only go from your home to the facility to home. That's it.
I gotta read what that.
Then not to mention, we also have there. If there's one team that I know this shit is not going to happen with, is the Washington football team, whose head coach has fucking cancer and is doing chemotherapy 5 days a week. If there's any team that actually understands the ramifications of doing anything like that, it would be this organization. They're not taking it lightly. If you're even seeing the reporters for Washington weren't allowed to travel, they're not allowed to travel to any other stadium. They're staying right here and calling the games from FedEx.
That's how it all should be.
Dan Snyder didn't even Dan Snyder was caught around someone who had it and quarantined himself for that for how many weeks? Like, you gotta they're doing everything they possibly can to make sure it's happening. I understand right now there just because of how crazy everything is, that there is this onus to want to look at all the bad things and the bad possibilities of everything. I'm the number one person of that, right? Especially when it comes to something like this, where I've been batting the drum all year long that it's a bad idea to come back as far as sports. What I want to do is I want to keep the argument based in reality. I don't want to think about all the possibilities and probabilities that are so far from being unlikely that when they're discussed, they give the other side more ammunition to downplay the entire thing. And that's what to downplay the virus the same way that we shouldn't be downplaying the virus. But if we're making up things, how
would they downplay the virus?
What?
You said the other side.
Because what you're saying is ridiculous. So if they're saying that what it is that is being said is ridiculous, they lump it in the group with everything else and they downplay it. That's what happens. You find some way to disregard and discount and discredit the other person's side. If you then see a tweet that goes out, if you're Mike Mayock that says something like that, and we got a tweet that goes out saying, yeah, Mike Mayock and a bunch of guys in the NFL think they're going to be a bunch of craziest, ravenous fans running around trying to infect other players with COVID-19. You got the other side saying, you got Outkick and Travis Clay and Jason Whitlock saying, look at this crazy motherfucker right here. That's what I'm saying, is like the virus is dangerous enough with just what we have here.
Yeah. I'm saying the NFL cannot control it. That is my point.
All right, so make that point. That's it. You don't need to give an example of the of fan.
I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's my it's our podcast.
And I'm replying to you and saying it's ridiculous.
And I'm telling you it's not. So that's where we disagree.
Fine. Ryan, as the impartial third party, what do you think?
Is he impartial? No.
I'm very partial to thinking.
Exactly. So let's move on to our picks from the third week.
Yeah, okay.
So me and Kadeen tied, and Ryan was down by 2. And yeah, this is the second time this has happened.
When is the where did I go wrong on this one?
All right, hold on.
I'll pull up the game from last week.
All right, so you both picked the Giants to win.
Good pick.
That's where it went wrong.
You both picked Washington to win.
Also went wrong.
We each got the Bengals and Eagles wrong because they tied.
What?
Ryan, you and I both picked the Raiders. Yeah. I picked the Falcons, and they should have won, but they didn't. You both picked the Bears.
Bears.
Wait, I picked Nick Foles unknowingly.
The Rams should have won that game. The Rams should have won that game, but the Bills won. So congrats. Wait, both picked the Bills.
That was a phenomenal final drive.
It was.
Josh Allen.
It was. And
Josh Allen is the real deal.
That is what championship material is made of.
Yeah, guess who the Raiders played this week? The Bills.
Oh, do they? I had no idea. I didn't have
Vegas.
It circled on my calendar or anything.
I know. We all picked the Steelers to win. We all picked the Titans. You both picked the Chargers. I picked the Panthers. The Panthers won. We all picked the Colts. We all picked the Seahawks. We all picked the Cards, but the Lions won. Yep. We all picked the Bucks. Kadeen and I picked the Packers. You picked the Saints. And then Kadeen and I picked the Ravens, and you picked the Chiefs.
Oh, I could go back and redo that. The Packers.
And then this week, Ryan, you and I picked the Broncos, and Kadeen picked the Jets.
Why, Kadeen? K-Dot. The Jets?
Yeah. They're worse than I thought.
Go back right now and change that pick.
Nope. Oh, I'm never picking the Jets again.
They're so bad.
Adam Gase is the worst head coach in the NFL.
I actually tweeted about this. Like, why isn't Eric Bieniemy? That's his name, right?
He's black.
I know, but oh, okay, that's okay. So you answered.
Wasn't the answer to your question before you even got it out?
No, but kind of. What? Damn it! Yeah,
Ask the question. Ask the question. Ask the question. Ask the question.
Why is Eric Bieniemy still the offensive coordinator when they have people like Adam Gase as head coaches? And then
what did he say?
I hate Kadeem.
If the end of the question was chased by the police, it's still the same answer.
Fuck you.
Just saying. Death Star go boom.
Kaboom.
What's your record right now?
What? 1-2?
Who did y'all play?
The Cardinals, the Browns, and the God damn it, who played week 1? Oh, the Eagles.
You beat the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was a nice comeback.
And then Kyler Murray did Kyler Murray things.
What was that score?
Not a good one. I don't remember. I don't remember scores like that. And then we just got beat, and it was a as far as like I'm
saying, was it close or not close?
Close-ish.
So here's the issue, and I sent you guys something. I don't know, you probably didn't read it, but the Washington football team has been having a few issues in the fourth quarter with us being down. And it's not timeouts in the sense of like somebody fucking up the timeouts. It's in the sense of Ron Rivera actually choosing that instead of going to try to win the game at the end, if we're only down 2 scores, that he's basically flowing the white flag out and saying, all right, it's over. We're not calling timeouts to try to get the ball back. According to him, I mean, I haven't seen the team do this outright. We're not tanking, but he's basically saying that, like, I'm not putting my guys at risk because we're a bad team trying to figure this out.
Yeah, he says there's no way that we can get 2 scores. I'm not putting my stars out there to potentially get hurt when I don't think that we can win the game. And I have almost never seen that, but it's a fully understandable response. If he's like, if you don't want to play well for the first, 3.5 quarters of the game, why I don't think you're going to do it in the last.
We wouldn't have the same thing that happened with the Rams and Bills then, where y'all were up by a lot,
but those
two came storming back.
But
I mean, if we look at our win, we came back from 17 points down. I mean, that's the thing is that, like.
So what is that?
It could go either way. Like, the thing is that I've never heard this. Anytime anybody tells me the team is tanking, especially in NFL, I'm pretty much I write that person off. There is one thing that's giving me kind of solace with it, which is kind of weird because usually I would be like railroading against this. I think the reason we've never seen this in the NFL is that you haven't seen a head coach with this much job security, which actually calms me to a certain degree. That like we're not going to be off around Rivera for a few years. He's not worried about it right now.
We gave Gruden $100 million.
Yeah, y'all stupid. So what we
gave
do,
Albert Hainsworth $100 million. So shut up.
Also stupid.
That was really stupid. But that was that.
And Archuleta.
That was that old team with that other name. I don't remember those guys.
Fuck out of here, man.
So the Washington football team, what they're doing is basically saying that, like, we're
new name. Who this?
This is bullshit. All right. Well, hopefully y'all figure the timeouts and shit.
No, we're not. Here's the thing: if we're down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter, we're not trying. I think that's just bottom line.
That's bullshit. But
okay. Dwayne Haskins should be. There's an argument made Dwayne Haskins should even be benched right now. But what he's saying is that, like, look, I want to see what I have with him. He's doing certain things good. He's doing certain things right. And he even said it after the game. He's like, at a certain point, you're not a rookie anymore. So he's like, he's going to start holding everybody's feet to the fire. I think what he's looking for right now is to see how much effort the guys are giving. And I think it's even like a Jedi mind trick game. At least I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. That even in those moments where things aren't looking good or we're down or the coach is basically saying we're throwing a towel, are you even still fighting? And I think that's what he wants to see is like what these guys are really made out of.
Why do you have the leader that's throwing in the towel?
No, that's not what it is. So,
all right, explain what it is.
The new Caps hire, Laviolette, as coach, has said publicly, if you're not out there playing well, one, you're not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't care if there's 4 guys out on the ice because the other 14 of you aren't.
I can ride with that. But is that the same as what Rivera's saying?
He's saying I'm not calling these timeouts because I'm not going to put you back on the field. You haven't given me your 100%.
I think it's different.
No, I don't.
I think it could be like that. Yeah. I interpret it differently, but I
don't.
He's saying if
you're saying the Caps coach is saying, hey, if you're not giving me all the effort that I'm looking for, you're not playing. Rivera's not doing that.
I think what Rivera's saying
there are backups that could be on the field.
What I'm thinking Rivera's
giving that effort that he's looking for.
What I'm thinking Rivera's saying right now is that, hey, all you motherfuckers, all 53 of you, this is your tryout. This is your season to prove to me that you're even going to be a part of this team next year.
He's got Will Greer in the sidelines.
Let me ask you this question.
Who's a Ron Rivera guy, right?
For
Will
those
Greer's
people,
not here. Kyle
Allen, yeah.
For those people, right? You're not getting a good look at them in their ability to band together and come back and make a comeback. If you're giving up.
Here's the thing. I can't
argue
NFL team. I can't argue that point.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can see.
I've never heard of a team like.
Literally, the only solace I'm taking out of this is I see this team, and I can honestly say, we're bad. We're young. There is some talent, especially on defense. We lead the league in sacks, but we're bad. And there was not, especially if I look at last week, there's not enough to be seen that I even think that we were capable of coming back. Dwayne turned over the ball 5 times. Like it was
came back against the Eagles.
Dwayne didn't turn the ball over 5 times.
That was defense.
And it was defense that put him in a position. You didn't give up. You didn't give up 5 turnovers. Did you give
defense a chance to do that?
Our defense
wasn't doing what it is they needed to do anyway. And you also Chase Young, and we lost probably arguably our best guy on the defensive line of Matt Ioannidis. So if I'm looking at it overall as a season, like, why am I putting everybody out there to these risky plays if I'm looking at my team already being decimated with injuries? And if I'm also looking and saying that anytime we're trying to push the ball down the field.
As a football player, I would hate that.
I could see it.
Then play better.
That'd be the other thing.
No, you play the full fucking 40 or 60 minutes.
No, they only played 45.
Then you have a team that's going to be the next Falcons.
I don't think that goes that far. But I also think that it's something that Ron Rivera's been accused of when he was in Carolina. It was something that they said that he was doing. He just wasn't as overt about it.
Doing what?
As far as not calling timeouts in certain games that he thought was over or coming back. There were a lot of cases in Carolina where he was doing the same thing.
He's Riverboat Ron. He's gambling right now. He's gambling that he thinks
no, he's not gambling. He's leaving the table, going out of the casino and going home.
No, it's still a 16-game season, right?
If you give up, like let's say there's 1 or 2 games that you could have come back and won, and you gave up. Like you're down by 2 scores the midway through the 4th quarter, and you just start to give up.
Well, if lighting a fire under the ass of your players for 2 games allows you to win 4 other games that you wouldn't have won.
Did that work with the Panthers?
Overall, yeah. I mean, they had majority winning records and they did losing records.
It's not. I mean, for me, it's not about like having a winning record or whatever. It's about winning Super Bowl.
I get winning Super Bowls, but at the end of the day, it's extremely hard to win a Super Bowl.
It is.
What you need is you need to have a team that's always at least in the conversation. And for a lot of years, when he was the head coach of Carolina, the team was in the conversation. They made a Super Bowl. They lost against Peyton Manning and the fucking Von Miller and that in the Broncos on that year that you couldn't stop them. But they at least not in the playoffs, that run you couldn't stop them. But I mean, if you look at the talent, you look at the pieces that came together in Carolina. I would never fault Ron for doing the things that he did. The core that they have as far as that team, even looking at right now, the team as you see right now is a Ron Rivera team. Christian McCaffrey, Luke Kuechly, Like, there's a lot of guys you can see directly that Ron Rivera had a part in. But even looking before that, if you look at other defenses that he's been a part of and actually putting together crazy good teams, look at the defenses in San Diego when he was defense coordinator there. Like, I'd be one to question a lot from a lot of guys, but what I would tell you is that if this has always kind of been the aura around him when it comes to reporters and everything else he gives up sometimes, there's one thing that I will say above almost any other coach in the NFL, there's no more beloved coach as far as his players go than Ron Rivera. So if I'm going to give anybody the benefit of the doubt, it's going to be him. And I think that what I take solace as a Washington football team fan is that usually when we're looking at a losing record, regardless of whatever your tenure is as a head coach, we're already looking to move on. And I don't want to see.
All right, question. Do you like it or not? Do you like the decision or not?
I don't like losing. But
no. Do you like the decision of what he's doing or not?
I trust Ron, so yeah.
No.
That's the point, is that I trust Ron, so yes.
No, I'm saying, do you like the decision or not? You can give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm following the leader. It's the same thing. Like if I'm in the military and there's a guy,
you can follow the leader but not like it. I'm saying, do you like it or not? You can say yes or no.
He's trusting the process.
You can trust the process. I don't care if I like it. Is the point? Is what I'm saying? Is that I don't care.
But I'm asking you a direct question. Do you like it or not? Just say yes or no.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's fair. At least you said something. Okay. You don't know. I don't like it. As a former football player, I'll be pissed. If I'm playing this game, putting my body on the line through the first 3 quarters, and there's a chance for us to come back, you're going to tell me that you're just going to throw in the towel? Fuck that.
Well, the Washington players have responded differently. The Washington players so far have been saying we should have played better. We should have been in a better position.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say in the media, but behind closed doors, I'm going to be pissed.
All I'm saying is that if Ron has a history of doing this and he still has his players' his backs, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't give a shit if I like it or not. I might not understand it, but I'm willing to say that there are people that are smarter than me. I'm going to follow it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I know that I'm trying to get you to say what – yeah, never mind.
What he wants you to say.
No, because I know what you're saying, but at the same time, you can say that you don't like it, but you will follow because you have faith in him.
I don't like losing games. It's the only part that I don't like.
Giving up.
But that's the thing, is that, like, I don't find it – there's a Jedi mind trick maybe I'm doing inside my head, but I don't necessarily see it completely as giving up. It's the same reason I kind of agree with what's his name in Philadelphia as far as trusting the process, is that you can try to win the game in the sense of, like, looking at every battle as something that you have to win. But if we're looking at the grand scheme of things overall, is it better for an organization who's been losing my entire life to not care about whether or not we beat Cleveland in week 3 compared to what it is we needed to develop a team that can actually compete week in and week out? So if I'm looking at that, then yeah, I'm going to trust the fucking process and do something a little different.
As a fan and a coach, I can see what you're saying. But as a player, I would be pissed.
I'm telling you that other players don't agree with you. At least that's what it's being shown, is that they don't necessarily agree with that thought process. It might have been your logic with it, and I get that. But I'm saying that other players as of right now looks like they agree with him. His track record shows it.
Okay. All right. So we already discussed our picks for week 3. Now we're going to move on into the NBA.
Are we doing our week 4 picks?
I don't want to.
Why? That's part of the pod.
Fuck's sake. All right, fine.
Oh, you weren't prepared. That's what happened.
No, I didn't want to do it. I saw it, but I was like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Are we just stopping doing the picks then?
No. I maybe like next week.
Want to take a break?
Yeah, I do.
I don't like what the results are going to be for this week.
No, me neither. All right, let's go. First one I see, Bills Raiders.
No shit. Is that the first thing you say?
Yeah, because on ESPN, like, I have everything Raiders that always comes up first. So Bills Raiders.
Got it. You ruined the website. I'm going Bills.
Fuck you. Okay. All right.
I will also have to be going with the Bills of Buffalo.
Dude, Bills 4-0. That's looking kind of scary. I think Josh Allen is oh God.
He is an MVP candidate right now.
Yeah, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That's all I'm saying.
Broncos, Jets. Oh, wait. We already did that one because that's Thursday. Seahawks, Dolphins. Nope.
Well, the Jets have a chance. You see who's starting quarterback for Denver next week?
Oh, they already announced it?
They lost to Fitz Magic.
Do you know Brett Rippon?
Yeah.
I don't care. Hand off the ball.
He's gonna be ripping the ball down the field.
I love the family. Just saying.
Did the Jets stop the run against the Dolphins?
The Jets barely can be called a football team. I'm just hoping my pick is.
So all you gotta do is run the ball.
Yeah, Jets weren't there.
Okay.
All right, who we got?
Seahawks, Dolphins.
Seahawks.
All right. Jaguars, Bengals.
Jags.
Give me the Bengals.
Same. Vikings, Texans.
2 0-3 teams underperforming. Who gets right first? Give me Deshaun Watson and the Texans get it right.
Same.
Yep. There's a chance that they postpone that game anyway.
Yeah.
Steelers, Titans. Same thing here.
Steelers, Titans.
I'll take the Titans.
2 3-0 teams going against each other. Give me the Steelers in a close one.
All right. Browns, Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'll take the Browns.
This is I'm taking the Cowboys. Ravens, Washington football team.
Washington football team.
Ravens.
We're playing at home. The Ravens can't travel that far.
Yeah, that 20-mile drive is really gonna fucking.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Colts, Bears.
Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'll take the Bears.
Same. Saints, Lions.
This is a tough week.
Saints.
Same.
I'll take the Lions.
Okay. This is where you be fucking up, Brian. You just be indifferent at the end. Cards, Panthers.
Cardinals.
Same.
Yeah, give me Cards.
Wait, when is McCaffrey back?
I think he's got another week or two.
Okay. Who'd you take, Dean?
Cardinals.
Okay. Chargers, Bucks.
The Buccaneers.
Yeah, same.
Sadly, I'm gonna pick the Chargers.
I mean, Herbert could come out fucking tossing it.
Yeah.
Giants, Rams.
I will take any team against the Giants.
What about the Jets? I think give me the Rams.
Yeah, Rams.
Chiefs, Patriots.
I'll take the Chiefs.
I say the Chiefs at home.
Pats.
Good old Camaban.
God, I really wanted to pick the Patriots too.
Belichick was fucking doubling the check down. I've never seen it.
Yeah, but Patty Mahomes can throw the ball wherever and however what he wants. Niners.
Belichick, bruh. Okay. Niners, Eagles. All right.
Niners. I think Belichick usually, if you're playing during the season to a team that he knows he's going to play in the postseason like this, is not going to show you everything he does on defense.
Falcons, Packers.
Ugh, Falcons are so.
Packers.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised at this point. I'd be surprised if Green Bay's not in the Super Bowl.
You're forgetting about the Seahawks.
I get it, but Aaron Rodgers scares me.
So does Russell Wilson.
But Russell Wilson's having he's on pace for 72 touchdowns, I think. I know that's not possible, or maybe it is. I don't know. Things get crazy. But Aaron Rodgers looks like he's having fun again, and that's a problem.
Aaron Rodgers scares us and apparently every girlfriend he's ever had.
Tough.
He's a terrible person. He hates his family.
All right, so let's move on to the NBA. The Heat beat the Celtics and the Lakers beat the Nuggets. So now we got the Heat versus the Lakers in the finals. Who you got?
Lakers 4-1.
Okay. You?
Heat in 7.
All right, I got Lakers in 6.
I mean, we're all saying basically the same.
I'm not Jimmy Butler and what it is the Heat are doing. Like if the Heat win, it makes me love basketball more. Because it means that you can have a complete – you don't need – look, Bam is basically playing like a top 10 player in the NBA right now. But outside of that, I like the idea of how it is you build a team like Miami has. I want to see the end of the big 2 or 3. I want to see a complete team. I want to see like what Greg – even though I used to hate the San Antonio Spurs, we need some of that right now. We need a complete team, a good coach team to beat the superstars. Like that, I'm rooting hardcore.
What did you call 2011? I know it was a long time ago.
That's a very long time. That's what I'm saying. It's like everything we're looking at, it's like 10 years ago. It's been a while. We're getting old. Like, it's just – we got to look at this in the sense of, like, I need teams.
But you already got that. You already got that with the Clippers.
With Toronto. No, but I got it last year with Toronto.
No, you got it this year too, in terms of the Nuggets beating the Clippers.
Oh yeah, I mean I got that, but I got a championship last year as far as Toronto.
Yeah.
Like it breaking down. There's a lot more as far as the Clippers that I've just been thinking about over the course of last week, and how Kawhi is a terrible leader, and they don't have a leader on the team, and how I almost agree with the Doc Rivers firing now. A lot, huh?
Why do you agree? Well, let's talk about Doc Rivers being fired because that was the next topic. Why do you agree with that?
Look, I think Doc's a great coach. I put him basically in the same category as I would put like a NFL wise, like a Marty Schottenheimer, like a guy who is great, who can get the best out of certain guys, but what he can't do is inspire leaders. What he can't do is like when you need that guy to step up. Like Doc has had talent. He's had really, 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 really good talent. You go from Lob City to like the stuff that he just had as far as that team. When you hear the stories that come out of that locker room that Paul George tried to have some sort of pep talk after it was all over, and they basically were like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, I don't know, like, as far as team building, as far as getting those guys to the next level, I hope Doc wins a lot. I really do. I think he's a great guy. I think he's done amazing things for that organization. But the more that you start hearing that it wasn't even the front office that really made this decision, it seems like it was a Steve Ballmer move, is what I was hearing today.
Yeah, because he's used to winning.
But put Doc in New Orleans, put Doc wherever. I wish him great. I even think that there's a certain degree that maybe what the Clippers need is not a coach as good as Doc Rivers. They just need somebody that can inspire some of these guys. They need somebody that can get a Kawhi to be a leader in that locker room.
No,
that doesn't take the same X's
Kawhi's not going to be a leader. They need Chris Paul.
That to me is the thing that probably makes the most sense. Is like you get a Chris Paul type.
They should have kept Doc Rivers because look at it this way. What coach are they going to get that's better than Doc Rivers for the next year? Because if you remember, Kawhi and Paul George both have opt-outs after next year. So this is the last time. If you look at the press conference after they lost to the Nuggets, it was, yeah, we didn't have like the continuity. We didn't have if you look, they played in the bubble. They had Montrezl Harrell miss like how many games or how many days or whatever? He missed a shit ton of time. Lou Williams, like all this shit that's happening. Then you got Pandemic P. Like, and then even if you look at the relationship between Paul George and Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is so fucking professional. Because if that was me, I would not have wanted Kawhi if the only reason Kawhi would have went there is because of Paul George.
Look, I get what you're saying as far as Doc, and I'll say it again. Doc's a great coach. He's a great dude. But if you take the talent you have and you do what you can out of it, you can Eric Spoelstra the situation, or you can try to run it back and just do the same thing you have been doing. Look, regardless of how it is you think about Doc Rivers, He is the only man to lose 3 series after being up by 3.
I agree.
1.
I understand, but
I haven't seen it. You look at that team that they had, Lob City. You look at that team that they had. They should have won something. Like I can't look at that team and that organization and not say that they shouldn't have put the pieces together. Look, even if they had run it back with Doc Rivers, I just think the time is gone to go the separate ways. I hope he goes get something else. Run it back, get a Chris Paul, get a Tyrone Lue, get a Sam Cassell, and see what happens.
Sam Cassell was already on that team. So what I'm saying is they got 1 year. If you're talking about cutting ties with Doc Rivers, it should have been after they gave it another shot. It would have been like their first season together.
Unless you think that he's the reason that they might not be able to get over the top.
And clearly it's not.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't think it's clearly.
No, it is. Because if you look at the relationship between the players and Paul George, and how you got like even like Montrezl Harrell versus Paul George, that whole part. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like a whole shouting match against him, and then like he's like saying like, "Yeah, guys, we just need to run it back. Like we need to be like accountable, and we can get this done." And everybody's looking at him like, "Fuck you." And then like how all the rest of the NBA treats Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really ship him out because you gave up so much to get him.
That's my point. Is that the variable has to change. If the only variable you're saying is like add a Chris Paul,
the easiest way is to change the coach.
Right. And this is kind of what I'm saying is like right now they're just at that point where it's like you're gonna do it and it either works or it doesn't work out. I don't you run it back for one more year because you have so much invested in this one formula. But like I said, like you even said, you saw the reaction Paul George got as far as the
what
other
does that
guys.
Do with Doc Rivers though?
Because Doc's the main. Like that's my thing is that like there are certain coaches that they can fester a certain environment when it comes to the team. Certain coaches know how to lean on certain players and let them get something out of them. I don't think Doc's doing that right now.
Shit runs downhill.
I don't think it's.
You got to understand what I'm saying. They could be an inferior coach that takes them over the edge. I'm just saying that, like, because the talent's there. The talent is there.
The talent is there, but the personality isn't.
Which is what I'm saying. You have to switch something up. If we can't
if you bring in Chris Paul, you could have kept Doc Rivers. And then you got a winning team right there.
Maybe, but maybe not. And that's what I'm saying.
And then now they ship out Doc Rivers.
What track record does Doc Rivers have in taking a team and winning the championship?
Who are you going to bring in? He's won with the Celtics. Who are you going to bring in?
Bro, Tyler's already there.
So he was there with it.
But he wasn't the head coach.
It's a different vibe when you're the head guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think Jeff Van Gundy hasn't coached a team in like 15 years.
Just run it back with Jeff. I'm just saying, like, I get it.
And if they run it back with Jeff and win, it was clearly Doc Rivers.
I'm not taking anything away from Doc Rivers, man. Like, you got to understand, it's not an attack on Doc. It's not an attack on Doc. It's just a wrong environment. It
wasn't good personnel for him. And it's easier to unload one coach than 10.
Not to mention, I'm
not saying to unload 10 players. I'm saying just add a leader to the team.
Outside of all of that,
okay.
Being up 3-1 in the series, to me, and losing is a fireable offense.
Do you blame the coach for that? Do you blame the coach for that?
Yes, because it starts at the top. Like, in my understanding,
okay,
like, if you're up 3-1
how much blame goes to the players who play the game?
Well, like you said, I can't just get rid of the players.
If you look at
I can't just get rid of the players.
If you look at the players and you see like Kawhi had 16, and Paul George barely showed up the whole time.
It was the pandemic, though.
Yeah, pandemic.
So the excuses go for the players and not the coach.
You can't move the players.
You can. They just moved Paul George.
You just told me how hard it would be to move Paul.
I understand, but what I'm saying is you add Chris Paul, and then your team is good. Why does it feel
like you're just arguing for the sake of arguing?
No, I'm saying they shouldn't have fired Doc. They should have just added Chris Paul, and then there you go.
I get what
you got the team. That's all I'm saying.
We'll never know. But I'm saying is that to me, down 3-1 is a fireable offense. I don't need to know anything else other than that. Like, if you allow that team to do that, it's a fireable offense. And do it 3 times. That's a mark.
Fool me once, Shame on
if Doc did that 3
you.
times to the Clippers, okay, I get you. Like one time, cool. But I'm always of the mindset, if you're gonna fire a coach, you need to have somebody else like
didn't they say
an upgrade in your mind.
They'll have somebody
with. You already need to have an upgrade.
Did they say they'll have somebody within the week?
Yeah. This is gonna be quick.
I'm waiting to see who it is.
They already knew who they were like, all right, we know what the piece is.
If that's the case, and like they view him, like whoever the coach is, as better than Doc, cool. But
that's where I'm at. Doc's a great guy.
I don't see it.
Doc's a great guy. He's a great coach. He just might not be right for that team.
I bet you also that Doc wanted out too.
I think the team. There's something wrong with the team. Like that's my point of view.
But here's my other point. If you like Doc Rivers, I
don't really care.
But here's the thing. If you are Doc Rivers, I'm a Doc Rivers fan. If you're a fan of Doc Rivers, I don't want him there. In all honesty, right now, I don't think that they have. I don't want him on the Clippers right now.
Or your team.
No, I don't want him on the Clippers right now because I do think that there are personality flaws with that team. Because if I'm looking at that team, I'm looking. Paul George has never been the guy. Kawhi has never been the guy. Kawhi wasn't the guy in Toronto. That was Lowry.
Yeah. He went with the Spurs.
When in Spurs, Greg Popovich literally said, that as far as the team leaders, Kawhi was like 6th or 7th on the team.
Yeah.
Like there was so many
guys. He's a great
more.
player. He's just not the vocal leader.
He's not a leader.
And that's the thing is you don't have those guys. You bring a Chris Paul in, cool. I got my issues with Chris Paul. I still think he can be great. He is great. But all right, I get that. But I also think that Doc kind of carries himself in a certain way, which allows his players to kind of do something and not really get involved in that aspect of things as far as like a rah guy. I think they might need a rah guy.
Yeah. And that's Chris Paul.
I'm saying from coaching. I'm saying from a coach perspective, they might need
a
rah guy.
But look, and then if you got a rah guy, and then you got like Chris Paul, like how many rah guys do you need?
But here's another thing:
let's not say rah again.
But if I'm even looking at track record, Doc Rivers had Chris Paul, and he had Blake Griffin, and he still didn't win shit. So let's move on.
Yeah, dude, I hope he ends up in New Orleans.
Look who they were going up against.
And they had Blake. That squad was sick. It was fucking sick.
Where's Blake now?
Detroit.
Why were you like Detroit? Why
I can't remember.
Like
I don't even know if I didn't even know
exactly.
He's playing in Detroit. They offloaded everybody. There's nobody still there. The only remaining thing was Doc.
Blake Griffin just dunks.
The only remaining person was Doc.
Blake Griffin just dunks. So does DeAndre Jordan.
His defense.
Let's
play different.
I don't think he was known for defense.
He does play defense.
I said I don't think he was known for defense.
And
I remember him being pretty known for defense.
He put his dick in someone else's face while dunking.
And DeAndre Jordan, all he does is just get rebounds. Because when he played for the Mavs, good Lord, they would just go around him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, never mind. I get it.
All right.
Final thoughts? Where are we at?
No.
How long has this pod been?
Very long.
Don't matter.
No.
I want to give a shout out to Mark Cuban for everything he's doing for Delonte West.
Yeah, that's a feel good story for sure.
Yeah.
Good for Mark. So if everybody doesn't know, Delonte West's been always just spent all his money on drugs, all of it. And now
he's from PG County, and you remember that video where he was fighting with somebody on the side of the road? That was in the street. That was in PG County.
And a cop recorded it and released it, and then the cop got fired.
Yeah,
I remember that. But apparently he was not cool with going to rehab, and Mark Cuban and a lot of others got him into a hotel yesterday. And him and his family, and I know a lot of NBA players, convinced Delonte to check into rehab, which I believe he did today.
Yep.
So hopefully, good luck to him.
Prayers.
Yeah, man. Good player too. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. But kudos to Mark Cuban for actually being a good, decent guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of hoping he becomes something in the Biden administration. I'm actually kind of pulling for that.
That'd be cool.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Some news about the Lightning just happened, I think.
Yeah. So the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Big rig maroon.
Oh no, I meant the Rangers. My bad.
Oh well, there was also a Stanley Cup final.
What the hell is that?
Henrik Lundqvist, the King.
Yeah, he's leaving the Rangers.
Yeah, he's arguably the best goaltender of all time.
All right. Well, he's leaving the Rangers.
Patrick Waugh, maybe. He's leaving the Rangers. They have their phenom backup, or was backup. I'm sure he's going to be the starter. And Igor Shesterkin. He is
what are these names?
You're hold on, bullshit. Foreign. You're reacting to that, and I can't react to these fucking stupid soccer names. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Hold on.
At least they're North American. Jesus Christ.
Did we not give you like the reins when you tried to say?
I'm just saying. Most of these guys are at least Canadian, so they're like
Igor.
Where's Lundqvist from? Is that say his name right?
Swedish, yeah.
All right, that ain't.
Well, his nickname's the King, so that's pretty easy.
And they've been here long enough. At least they play here.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't watch the sports, so that's why.
Do we know where he's going?
I don't think so. They just said that he's parting. They just said he's parting ways. So he, if he was retiring, they probably would have led with that. So I'm assuming he's still intending to play.
I mean, he is like 40 years old, so.
Don't people play hockey until like 45 anyway?
No. Oh.
They feel like a goalie?
So the Rangers bought him out. They just paid the rest of his contract and let him go.
Who's the Capitals keeper?
Braden Holtby, but he's not going to stay. So we'll see.
Wouldn't Holtby on another team?
No. He's always been a Capital.
Oh.
But
is he good?
Yes. We just can't afford to keep him. And we are the factory of good goaltenders. Like, if you look at – there's like 4 or 5 starting goalkeepers on other teams who were backups of Braden. So whoever we have sitting in the wings will probably be just fine.
What happened to the St. Louis guy?
Martin St. Louis?
Yeah. Now, wait. That dude plays for the Lightning, right?
Are you talking about the guy from St. Louis?
No, I'm talking about the dude that played for the Blues. What was his name? Fuck.
TJ Oshie?
Yes.
He's still there, but he's part of why we can't pay Braden. Like, we have to pay all of our superstars on the that are, midfielders and forwards, like Alex Ovechkin. But we have, I think, Samsonov's still there.
What is the salary cap?
We're going to be above it if we kept him. It changes every season, so.
Okay.
But I just know that the GM was like, where do you think we're going to be bringing Holtby back? And the GM was like, I think it's very, very unlikely. So.
Well, you see, like, Kadeen, like, I'm asking, like, honest questions and not being a dick about it, like how you are with soccer.
I'm not a dick about soccer.
Okay.
I had comic relief to soccer.
Right.
I realized that we do a podcast in North America, and there's but 2% of the population that gives a shit about your footy ball sport. So I'm trying to make sure that they can make it through this without shooting themselves. I'm doing a service, a public service.
No, you're not. But okay.
It's a disservice.
Final thoughts. I want to go first because I kind of it should have been done at the beginning of the podcast, but rest in peace, Gale Sayers. I had no idea about the movie Brian Song. Still haven't seen it.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Like, what year did it come out?
That's 70 or 80 something because that's James Caan.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch like movies for real. Like I watched just the games. So I remember like I watched his highlights for sure. So yeah,
at the time and still honestly
71.
Maybe one of the greatest backfield players of all time.
It's him and Barry, the most elusive backs ever.
Yeah. And
crazy.
Like, it's still hard to watch him hold the ball like a loaf of bread, though.
Yeah,
but I think that it's hard to watch some of the old highlights.
I was watching some of the old highlights and listening to current and former NFL players discuss him, and a great analogy came up. They were like, "This guy here was essentially the first like McCaffrey," and shit like that. And I was like, "Okay." Like, as someone who didn't watch the game, like, I can kind of see it. And, like, he didn't have a long career, and he still made it into the Hall of Fame just because of how revered he was.
Most of them didn't back then, as far as running backs, though.
Yeah, they get banged up for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and like if you have a knee injury, that essentially ended your career back then.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. So you know when people have the arguments of like, yeah, if like the numbers and shit like that, like the numbers now compared to then, like Mahomes throwing 50 touchdowns or some shit, and they were like, yeah, but Johnny Unitas is still a better QB. Like,
I mean, it was a different ball game.
Yeah, like that just brought another like aspect of it to me. So that was my final thought.
So Arsenal plays Liverpool twice in 3 days this week.
What's the other?
We played on Monday. And we play on Thursday.
Like is it still like all Premier League, or is it like a cup?
Premier League, and then a 4th round cup tie on Thursday. You know, that's kind of like when you come into a season and you're like red hot, and then you come up basically in front of a juggernaut twice in a week. If we lose on Thursday, I see a little bit of a slowdown in how good we're doing just because from a morale standpoint. But we'll see. It's tough to know you're going to take 2 losses in a week.
It was 3-1, so it wasn't like crazy bad.
I mean, we didn't play well. And then also there should have been a red card in the 2nd minute. I don't care what anybody says. Sadio Mane should have gotten tossed for elbowing Tierney in the face.
Well, did they VAR it?
They didn't even look at it. Nothing. It's a joke.
So can't there be like retroactive punishment for that?
I'm sure there could be, but they just, for some reason, Arsenal is going to continue to Arsenal.
Isn't like when people say that, doesn't that mean that it's kind of like in your favor?
No, we always get screwed. Always. Almost 100% of the time.
They call us like Barcelona, and
it's a good thing. Yeah, but think of Arsenal, and so shout out Mauricio. He got me a bunch of cool shit for my birthday, and then he custom made me a trophy that congratulates me and Arsenal for being perennially in 4th place.
Shit.
It was good.
That is so disrespectful.
It was so good. Because, like, the rest of he got me a tie, like the Arsenal official tie.
Wait, did he record this?
Huh? No, he should have. It was a bunch of cool stuff. And then at the bottom of the basket, buried underneath everything, was that trophy. It's sitting on my desk because I appreciate the sentiment. Sort of. We'll see. If we get 4th this year, I'm going to fucking burn it. Anyway, that's my final thought.
All right. 3 quick hits. Number 1, I think James is legit mad with me. Number 2 is number 2. Quick hits. Number 2. 2 weeks ago, there was a final thought that I really wanted to have that I didn't. Jason Whitlock is a stone cold bitch. And I really want to cock slap him in the face, especially after what he said about Katie Nolan and all the other female reporters.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude. Fuck Clay Travers for being his white knight, getting him his fucking Uncle Tom gig, and I hate using that term, but just playing it up to Trump's base and all these other assholes that just want to hear some other outside view that agrees with their backwards ass ignorant fucking thought process.
They just want a black person to agree with them, and found Jason.
And you see all the comments, pull up any one of the videos on Outkick right now. They all say the same things. Jason's so intelligent. Yeah, okay. Beyond that, it's just one of the black guys they understand.
And the disrespectful stuff he said about Maria Taylor.
Fuck him.
Dude, they found intelligent life on Mars. I'm pretty sure it was Jason Whitlock.
Dude, and they're trying to do like funny videos and shit too. I don't know why I watch Outkick stuff. Like I'm helping them
because it makes you angry and you appreciate that.
Yeah, I like to feel things.
I never looked at Outkick, and I probably never will.
I'm subscribed. I'm checking. I'm not. The 3rd part would be that we're recording this Tuesday night. The pod should be up on Wednesday. So when you're watching this, if you're watching this, you should have already seen Donald Trump make a complete ass of himself in the debates the night before. just make sure you vote. You can't let this motherfucker win, especially after what it is we've seen as far as what he said about the military, what's happening as far as his taxes, the fact that he's on tape saying he downplayed a fucking virus and 200,000 people in that
paid more in taxes than his dude.
Cannot allow him to win. Our democracy's at stake. This is not hyperbolic. It's true. Our democracy is truly at stake right now.
And you can go vote right now. Find a polling place near you.
Do it. Mail in, don't care. Just if you can go in person, go in person. If you're
young, you can mail it in person.
Yes.
So you can go and you can drop it in yourself.
Just vote. You got to vote. Please
think
vote.
about that. You don't have to go in and stand in a closed space to vote.
And look, I'm not one of those guys that just say you need to vote. I'm telling you who you should vote for. You need to vote for Joe Biden. Don't do the third party thing. You're not clever. You're a fucking idiot, or you're just too goddamn young and you think you know everything and you don't. You haven't lived enough life. And beyond that, if you're a Trump person, just vote fuck yourself. Like, if you're one of those people that are on the fence, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, I want you to vote my way. If you're part of his base, it's just not going to change. Jump off a fucking bridge. You're that useful to me. Okay, go fuck yourself. But beyond that, just vote. But vote the right way. There's a right way to vote, at least this year. Completely a right way to vote. Do the right thing. Be a good person. Okay? Be the right good person. Save our democracy.
You should go to a big, beautiful wall and jump off it. If you're
why do you think I hate you?
Huh?
Why do you think I hate you?
I didn't say hate. I think
why do you think I'm mad?
Me.
Why?
You're mad at me right now.
For what?
No, all the arguments that we had. I even saw that when we were doing the pick segment.
We argue.
Hey, wait. When we were doing the pick segment, there's some stuff you can't hide. When we were doing the pick segment, I made a joke that Ryan laughed at. You rolled your eyes like some goddamn Southeast broad waiting on the goddamn Z-Box. Like, you couldn't fucking hide your disdain.
What joke did you make?
I don't even remember, but I remember that look because you were looking down the paper. You just, oh, God. You couldn't. It was not fake. It wasn't something you did for the camera. You legitimately were disgusted with me. So, look, it's fine. You might not like me right now. I get it. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to let it just not do.
No, listen. At the end of the day, I love you both.
See, that's what he's saying. You see that qualifier at the end? And I love you too, but you don't have to like me right now. I get it.
No, but
I don't like you most of the time.
I'm not a likable person. I get it.
Well, Kadeem, for your pleasure, I like you. Ryan, I like you too.
Thanks, bud.
And I did not like you at any point.
We gotta. I gotta.
It was 2 points.
I gotta pick up Chipotle or a pizza or something for this debate right now.
I gotta get drunk before I watch this fucking shenanigans.
I can't fade it. I can't do it.
It's gonna be.
Truly, I can't tell you. You should. You know what the right thing to do is. Vote Joe Biden. So you don't need to watch.
But yeah, we do need to get on a. Somebody hit stop record.